Hi everyone, my name is Orhan Jafarov and I'm a founder of Blazy, and I'm gonna talk about the Blazy itself, about the problem it solves, and overall about prototyping. So first of all, about prototyping in Figma. So I did research and collected the data about the people that prototype in Figma. So why do we prototype in Figma? There are many reasons to prototype in Figma, but these are the ones I got from the research. In-place access. I want to design and I want to prototype in the same app. Design elements, they're all in Figma. So I have access to my component library, to my assets, and I want to reuse them in the prototype instead of moving them all to another platform. So the big companies, they require to have prototype in the platform which is secured. And Figma is the platform which is secure for the companies because they can manage permissions, they can see the logs and so on. Sharing with team. So we all have our team in Figma and they all have access as editor or viewer, all managers, developers, project managers, and so on. So they can test, prototype, they can leave comments, and of course variables, which is recently added feature, which is very cool, and everyone wants to use them while they're prototyping. Okay, we all got that there are reasons to use prototyping in Figma. So, but what are we struggling with? Of course, it's animation, because creating animation in Figma is quite hard. Let's create very simple animation inside of the Figma. I'm gonna use interactive components, and I have 3 primitive elements. So I'm gonna just make them components. So now they're all components, and to make interactive components I need to create a component set. So I'll just add a component set, and this will be the first state or the first step of the animation, and this is the second step. So here I will just change something, like I will make it a bit smaller. I will make it a bit smaller and rotate a bit, and I will do the same here. So we need to connect all these steps, and this is what you will need to do every time. So yeah, I'm selecting the first variant and then just bind to the next step. I need to change it to the after delay. Let's run it after 100 milliseconds, and I will do smart animation, and I will have some custom easing timing. So I will do similar in the other elements. Okay, so now we can add our elements to the frame and we can run animation. It seems fine, it's cool, it's animating, but if we want to add another step, we want this one to be to have some opacity, like 50. And again, we need to do the same. We need to go to prototype. We need to bind it here after delay, 100 milliseconds. And we also need to have some duration, let's say 500 milliseconds, and easing. Yeah, we can run it and we can see it's animating. Yeah, everything is cool. But now we get to some of the tricks that will take time or need better skills. For example, I want to move this rectangle to the very right. Like if I'll do this way, I will move this element out of the frame. So instead I need to select this and change the X position to here. So yeah, And now we need to again to bind this and change the trigger, select the delay, duration, and all the easing stuff and so on. And now we can check that it's animating and moving to the right. But the thing is, we cannot properly do this animation and see where this one is going, and it's quite hard to maintain it. So it's somewhere here. To see this, we need to change the size of the component set and so on. So this is quite I would say annoying, and this is only for the primitives. This is just a primitive. Imagine if you have a text with line by line, or the typewriter animation. For that you will need to have each frame one by one. You need to create all of them and you need to connect them. And if you will think to change the duration, it means you need to go again one by one, calculate the duration, delay, and set again. So what are the problems we have with it? Let's wrap up. First of all, it's hard to maintain. Imagine we have some complex animation and we need to maintain it. Like, we need to change duration, we need to change delay, we need to synchronize with the other animation, and so on. It all takes time, and I cannot imagine how to maintain like some big animation. So it needs advanced skills. As you saw, it's not that simple to build it. You need to be sure that in smart animation you're changing the element that you cloned or copied, and you need to be sure that your element is in the frame even though you're moving it out of it, and so on. Of course, it's a time-consuming process to build and maintain it. Handoff process is another pain, where we need to give at least editor access to our engineer, because the engineer will need to get all the information about the duration, about delay, when animation starts, when it ends, what's the easing, what's the animation timing. And there is no animation presets, so if I want just to quickly apply preset to my element instead of doing all this, I just cannot. How to address these issues? So finally, I'm introducing you Blazy Figma Plugin. So this is the solution that's gonna solve the issues that I described before. So this is the plugin to animate your prototype in one click, to manage everything, to edit everything easily through the timeline, through the control panel. And here is the basic demo of Blazy. This is the advanced mode in Blazy. So when you run your plugin first time, you will see two modes and you can select one of them, which will be your default one. So in my case, it's advanced mode. So to see your elements here, you need to select them like this. You will see them here. You can block them, you can hide them, or you can zoom it, you can pan it, and there is also centerized button. And plus you can change the background of it. So to add some animation here, we'll do just very simple one. Let's start from the presets. We select all our layers. We put the this time indicator to the time when we want animation to start. I'll just keep it on the very beginning, 0 second. So We click on the animation presets and select some animation, let's say up. So we see it's all animating, all good. We can check, we can navigate like this. And yeah, we can just click on generate animation, and this will generate interactive components in Figma. So you will be able to see these animations here. So let's click here. Let me to resize it. We can see that it's animating and it's fine. We can do something like this. We can select all the keyframes, and there is a cascade method. You can click right button, like context menu, and click cascade keyframes, or just click by clicking here. So then it will appear gradually. So we can return it back, or let's do like this. If you keep clicking on the cascade, it will have bigger gap between the keyframes. So you can do something like this, and we will just click on generate. We'll check, and this is the animation inside of the Figma. So if you want to change the duration, we can just change the position of the keyframe for this rectangle. Let's generate again. And as you see, it's all changing when you click on generate animation. We see how it's going. If you want to select all animations in the frame, only thing, you don't need to select one by one. The only thing you need is just to select frame. So you will see all animated elements inside of your frame. So yeah, you can delete all of them, and you can apply another preset, or you can just add the preset you want. For example, let's add something like this. Let's do a scale. You can select all these elements together, and you can add keyframes. It will just add a keyframe for each selected layer, or you can just select layer and double click here. It will add more keyframe for you. So you can select all of them and then change the scale. Let's say we will change it to the 50. So they will just change their size like this. So we can do something more. We can just add rotate, and we will add rotate with 500. Let's add rotate to all of them. Let's rotate their position at the end. And we can add another property like opacity. Let's make it like 0. So we will have this kind of animation, and we can make them in the cascade, so they will appear gradually. I mean sequentially. So yeah, this is what you can do. This is your custom animation. You can generate it, you can check it. Yeah, everything is fine. Yeah, the animation you create, you can keep your animation. For example, you can add something else, like let's move it to the right and then move it back to the same place. And after, let's add something else. Let's make it blur, like for 40. And at the end, let's just make it opacity 0. So yeah, we can see how it moves, and this is the animation, and we can also change the timing for it. I'll just hide the other elements. I need to select all of them because I want to add this timing to all my keyframes, and here's the custom easing. I can select from the presets that I got from Epic Easing. I can change it to have a more like a fancy animation. Yeah, for example this, which is fine. Just click generate, refresh, and here is the animation in our prototype. Also, we can do something more fancy. For example, we can add a trigger here. Let's do it on map, or we can do just hover. When we hover on it, it will go on the animation. So we can generate again. So as you see, the animation is stopped here. We can hover on it and it will go on. And as you see, the animations or the keyframes with the different trigger will change their shape. So they're like this, the rounded shape. So it's easier to indicate how they work. So let's change it back to after delay. Let's generate again. Yeah, and we can easily save the our animation, all this sequence. We just can click context menu on our layer and do save preset. And let's name it Blazy demo, or let's name it demo. So we can save it. We can select our the other elements, for example this one, and I will just apply our preset to them. For example, we have preset this demo, we can apply, and here we go. We can see how it works. We can select them all again, make them cascade, and here we go, generate. Yep. And it's not the all features that we have inside of the Blazy. Just go through the Blazy presets. You can find dynamic animations. You can find a loop. If you want your animation to keep going, you need to select your layer and then switch on loop. You can select the other easings. For example, you can select quick, gentle, bouncy, and so on, or even linear, for example, for spinning animation. And this all will give you generated animation, which is interactive animations. Instead of building it one by one, you will get them all generated, and all these animations, they all stored in the separate page. So, and the last part that I'm gonna show you is dev mode. Yeah, Blazy supports dev mode, and we can see the code. Even now you can see all the code of the animation. If you select frame with animations, you can see all the elements inside. You can see that here's rectangle, ellipse, and so on. And you can just copy them all and use in your front end. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. So you can find the Blazy plugin in Blazy Studio website, or you can just search inside of the Figma in community or plugin search. Just type Blazy.